Hi loves, welcome back to the channel Side by Sea. Today's tutorial will be on how to recreate this beautiful flake gown we have by the side and the side ruffles. Do subscribe to the channel, share to friends. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and watch. First thing first is to fold your fabric in a triangle form, and this is what I have after folding it. Okay, so we'll go in with our measurements. What you have to do is you're going to divide your bust measurements into 4, add 1.5 inches to 2 inches to it. So mine is 8.5 inches. When I add 1.5 inches, I'll be having about 10.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and find where it is on this fabric, okay, on this folded area. So find where your 10.5 inches falls. Yours must not be 10.5, so divide yours. So I have 10.5 here. Please note, you can also decide to use just 1 inch seam allowance. It must not be 2 inches. Okay. If I decide to use just 1 inch, you can decide to just use 1.5 inches or half an inch, depending on what you can manage. Alright, so now the next thing to do is I'm going to go ahead and mark my shoulder measurements on this line. Okay, so my shoulder measurement is 8 inches and I have it here. All right, but because this is a sleeveless, I'm going to be removing 2 inches from the 8 inches I have, so I'll still come in by 2 inches, and this is where my 2 inches is. We did some things here now. First of all, you imputed your bust measurements plus seam allowance, right? You went ahead and put your shoulder measurements. Okay, then after which you remove 2 inches from your shoulder measurements, and this is what you have. Yeah, so now from this, what you have left from your shoulder measurements, you're going to go up by 4 inches, and this is where it is. So coming up from here now, I have my 4 inches here. Yeah, so I'm going to make a rule across. Okay, so now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and mark my neck measurements at this point. Okay, so I'm going to be working with 2.5 inches to 3 inches, which I have here. Now I'm going to be connecting this into my bust measurements, which is here. So this is what you have to do. Just make a curve. So from this point now, you're making a curve into this area. It's easy. Okay, so now having done this, now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to place your tape at, remember we have your bust measurement to be here, and now we're going to be needing your chest line measurement. So my chest line measurement is 8.5 inches, which is here. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. It's from this point, and I'm going to go ahead and mark my full length of my gown. So I'm going to be working with 38 inches plus 2 inches seam allowance, making it 40 inches. All right, but because we're going to be having gathers at the bottom part of our gown, so we're going to assume that the gather is going to be 8 inches. So subtract 8 inches from your 40 inches. Whatever you have left will be your full length. So guys, now at this point, I've placed my 8.5 inches at my chest line, and when I remove 8 inches from my 40 inches, I have 32 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my 32 here. So this is what I'm going to do round my dress to form a cone. Okay. So guys, this is what we have. Now we're going to go ahead and cut this piece out. So please note, if you want your flare to be fuller, you can decide to go ahead and fold the triangle full. Okay, like fold your fabric full, but I don't want mine to be excessively full. Okay, so that's why I just folded it half triangle. Then from this point now, we're going to go ahead and cut out this area. So go ahead and use this to cut out another piece for your back. All right. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is at this neck area. Okay, first and first, I'm already gonna cut out another piece. Okay, so one is going to be serving as the back and one is going to be serving as the front. So from this piece, I'm going to come down by 2 inches. This is to create my neck area, and I'm going to go ahead and make my curve. I'll cut this out. Alright, so this is what it's going to look like. Then go ahead and open it. And this is what we have. Okay, so you can decide to maybe use 1 inch to avoid having a deep V like this. You can decide to use 1 inch or 1.5 inches. Alright, so now we're going to cut our strap and we'll start working on it. So guys, the next thing I went ahead to cut out was a strap that I'm going to use to hem the neck area of my blouse, of my gown. Okay, so you can decide to use a bias, it's totally fine. So I'm using this to hem the neck area of this gown. Okay, now another thing I wanted to also cut out is the strap that is going to be from the armhole towards the shoulder area, then towards the back. Okay, so first and foremost you have to do is you measure your armpit area. So I have about 8.25 inches and my strap is going to be 10 to 11 inches long. Alright, so if you're on a smaller size, please use 10 inches, but if you're on a bigger size, 11 inches is okay. Alright, so now if I'm done joining my neck piece, we'll now use this. Okay, so you're going to have your armhole area because it's going to be for your front and your back. So multiply it by 2. So we have 8.5 inches times 2. That is 17 inches. Then you add 10 inches extra, which is for your strap, making it 27 inches. So your strap is going to be 27 inches long. Okay, so it will be able to go from one piece to the other side of the back, from the front to the back. At this point now, I'm done hemming my neck piece. The next stuff we're going to be kicking off with is the armhole area. Okay, so pick up your strap. You're going to place it right side facing each other, depending on how you want it to be. You can decide you want your strap to go inwards. You can decide maybe you want it to come this other way. So whichever one you want to do, it is totally fine. Okay, so I'm going to be placing mine this way. I want it to be inward. So I'm going to go ahead and run a stitch on it from this point to the end here. Then from here I'm going to join to my back piece. Okay, after piping the neck area, this is what we have. This is what it looks like. Now you're going to go ahead and shape your dress. Okay, so we use 2 inches for our seam allowance. You can go ahead and use 1 inch or 1.5 inches for your seam allowance. Go ahead and run a stitch on the side. So if you want a pocket on your dress, fine, you make a spacing for your pockets. If you don't want to, go ahead and close it up. Loves, after shaping my dress, this is what it looks like. Okay, sorry I didn't spread it very well. Then I went ahead to hem the bottom part of it. Okay, now we're going to measure around what you have at the bottom. Okay, after measuring it, multiply it by 3 if you want it fuller. If you want it less, you can use 2.5 to 2 inches. Multiply whatever you have. That is the length of the strap you're going to have, the gathers you're going to have at the bottom. Okay, this is mine. For the upper part, I made it a tiny stitch. Okay, I made it a tiny fold. Then the down part, I folded it in a little. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and gather this piece. Okay, so guys, at this point now, I'm done gathering the bottom part of my dress. Okay, and this is what I have. Now I'm going to be introducing the gown proper. Okay, so this is the gown. Now you're going to bring your gathers, which you have done. So what you have to do is you're going to be pleating it. You're going to run a stitch on top of it. Okay, so this is your gown. Yeah, this is the pleats. Place the pleats on top this way. Go ahead and run a stitch on it. All right, so that's what you're going to do.